Philanthropist, author, community activist, comedy legend Bill Cosby has announced that he's going to be returning to the road, saying that he's going to go on tour in 2023. The 85-year-old, of course, was convicted in 2018 on a litany of charges, but was later released in 2021 when those charges were overturned by the state Supreme Court. Mr. Cosby is still facing 5 lawsuits in the state of New York. However, he says that this tour will be an opportunity for him to tell his side of the story. So I'm going to go to the panel on this. Rebecca, starting with you, I want you to put your legal hat on first, and I'll have a follow-up question. But if you were Mr. Cosby's attorney and he has 5 charges facing against him, would you advise him to go on the road to tell his side of the story?
Well, it depends. Does he have the money to pay me? I mean, this really might be a financial calculation.
Mm-hmm. But
so,
do you think
if he needs the money, he needs to go out on the road.
I understand, but the only thing I hear is, as an attorney, is just someone accidentally just saying all the incriminating evidence that the other side needs. You know, it's one thing if you need the money. It's another thing if you're going to cost yourself money in the long run when you have these 5 civil suits still pending against you.
I mean, when he made the jokes about the pudding pops and said some other things, he already went on the record and admitted to some of these things. So what's the difference? He has bills to pay. He has, people that he needs. I think this is really a money grab. I think that's all that this is. I think he spent so many millions of dollars dealing with the Pennsylvania case and with these 5 pending cases. I think Bill Cosby needs the money. And if there are people who are willing to give him the money, well, I mean, I'm not going to be there. So.
Dr. Carr, do you think that there's anything that Bill Cosby can do to become redeemable in the eyes of the public? Maybe if he tells his side of the story, at least this might be his calculation, to get back in the good graces of public opinion, and if nothing else, put some context into his legacy, to not let his legacy be this individualized event, but the totality of his lifespan.
That's tough, Robert. I mean, with this recent documentary that we saw, or some people saw, I didn't watch it. We need to talk about Bill Cosby. I don't think there's anything that an 85-year-old man can do to redeem his legacy in the sense of kind of rehabilitating himself with whatever time he has left. I hadn't thought about that, Rebecca. Maybe he does need the money. Certainly there will be spectacle, and he's going to subject himself to that. If I were a member of his family or somebody close to him, I would say, Elder, stand down, because you're about to be assaulted, and you'll be assaulted for pay, and there'll be a lot of money thrown around. That having been said, we saw today that, Baba Edson Arantes do Nascimento, known to the world as Pele, made transition today, the greatest football player in the history of the sport in Brazil, the Black Pearl, at 82. He will go down in history as one of the greatest figures in his craft, in the history of his craft. Bill Cosby will not. Now, the question you asked, I don't know if it was a trick question, Robert, but it's kind of nuanced. Redeemable? Well, I mean, we live in a society where people pay respect to James Madison, Thomas Jefferson, and George Washington. And if I were around during that period, I hope I would have been one of the people trying to kill each one of them to escape. They were our Holocaust minders. That having been said, they're redeemable. And I don't want to step into the landmine field of Bill Cosby, but if I were one of his children over, I'd say, man, you got to stay at home.
I think to Rebecca's point, it very much does seem like an act of desperation, because as you said, it's going for as many people as buy tickets. There are going to be more people outside protesting. There are going to be women's groups out there. If you think people are heckling Chappelle now for his quote unquote anti-trans comments, what do you think is going to happen to Bill Cosby when he hits the road? Lucretia, I want you to bring you in on this. Do you think there's a place for people who have been canceled, quote unquote, by society to try to come back? Should people have the ability and the right to try to clear their name in whatever way they deem necessary to try to get their side of the story out there?
Me? That's the only thing I can say. Camilla, go get your husband. Go ahead and rub his feet and get ready to make sure that will is in place. Man, go sit down somewhere. It's enough of that. We tired of you, Bill. Camilla, go get your husband. That's pretty much it.
That's the best advice I've heard all night.
All right, folks, back to that Roland Martin Unfiltered video in just one moment.
When you talk about blackness and what happens in black culture, we're about covering these things that matter to us, speaking to our issues and concerns.
This is a genuine people-powered movement.
There's a lot of stuff that we're not getting. You get it, and you spread the word.
We wish to plead our own cause. Too long have others spoken for us. We cannot tell our own story if we can't pay for it.
This is about covering us.
Invest in black-owned media.
Your dollars matter. We don't have to keep asking them to cover our stuff. So please support us in what we do, folks.
We want to hit 2,000 people, $50 this month, raise $100,000. We're behind 100,000, so we want to hit that. Y'all money makes this possible.
Checks and money orders go to P.O. Box 57196, Washington, D.C. 20037-0196. The Cash App is $RM Unfiltered. PayPal is R Martin Unfiltered. Venmo is RM Unfiltered. Zelle is Roland at RolandSMartin.com.